The Spurs have a 16 straight losing streak.
That sucks.
Um, I
Worst
don't,
worst record in history for
I
that for
don't
the
know who
Spurs.
this, I don't know who this team is. I think Pop, he got to start doing some recruiting, because Duncan and Tony Parker and them kind of guys ain't being drafted or walking through them doors like they used to. So
Yeah.
I don't, and like I say, he gonna have to do some recruiting because it's not like we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's not an attractive place. It's not, it's not a San Antonio though. Hey boy, that's where we going, boy. San Antonio, yeah, it ain't that, and it never has been. They just they just found a bunch of diamonds in the rough, and it worked, even with Kawhi. But I think after Kawhi left, it kind of hurt the dynamics of the organization, really, because the way they treated him and the things he was saying about how they went about things, I think it hurt it. It hurt how players looked at that franchise, and it's like, no, if y'all can't take care of one of your own, are you gonna take care of me? So he gonna have to do some recruiting. Hopefully he can get one of these top draft picks coming, in this up and coming draft or something, because right now they look piss poor. The Spurs used to be the team you don't want to play. Now it's the team everybody is looking forward to playing.
Yeah.
You can have a career night, you know, or you can have one of those. Hey, play the Spurs back in 23. Boy, I have 40. Boy, I was like 7 for 11 from three. You something that you ain't never gonna do again. But against the Spurs, you can
Gonna
do
get busy.
right.
Man, yeah, going down Texas right now. What's the name? Just dropped 71 against the Rockets. Shoot, just make a tour through Texas, hit up all
And
three of them
and
teams.
shoot, and
Get
LeBron
you,
and them
get
just
you a
came back from
27
down
point
27 yesterday.
27 point comeback, a 71 piece over here, and then I'm gonna stop in San Antonio and just get a dub. Hey,
Yeah,
that's a nice trip down there.
it's funny you say that because in them early 2000s, the state of Texas was rough with Dirk and T Mac and Yao and Houston and San Antonio doing what, like, bro, it's like we gotta go to Texas. It's gonna be a rough 3 game stretch, boy. But now it's like, yes, we go to Texas. I can average about 35 in the next 3 games. I'm
So,
good
okay, I'm gonna be. I guess I'll be the nice one today and try to defend the Spurs.
today.
They, I mean, they're young. I mean, that's how I'm just looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Like after that whole Kawhi situation went down, I just feel like you were just saying, Nico, it's kind of a hard destination to go to right now because of the fact that I feel like if you see how they're playing, they're still trying to play like how the early 2000 Spurs were playing, but it's like you can't really play like that in today's game. You got to kind of play at a faster pace because the Spurs back in the day was feed the paint, and then boom, we gonna have our shooters do the rest. But the majority is Timmy and David Robinson or whatever getting straight buckets or whatever, or even Tony Parker or whatever getting buckets in the paint. But it just it just seems like I said because the most well, let's go start off with this. Like I said, their youngest player is 19. Their oldest player is only 33. You know what I'm saying? And the most experience that they had, and that's Joel Ding. I think I'm probably bombing his name,
Wow.
but that's the oldest player that they have on their team. You know what I'm saying? But their average age is between 19 and 25. So I'm not really expecting them to be making too much of an impact right now, even though that they have a great I said quarterback, a great coach in Popovich. I just feel like it's kind of hard to buy into Popovich's schemes and his system right now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, with the NBA just changing because,
Right.
like I said, it seems like the Spurs, there's more of, trying to feed the paint, but they don't really have those guys that can, do that anymore. So I just think possibly, once Pop retires and whatever new coach that they bring in, if they can adapt to the new NBA, if you want to call it, I think that's possibly when they'll be able to start maybe landing a little bit more key players. But just right now, it's just you just don't got a lot of guys saying like, hey, let's go to San Antonio, like you said. Like I said, I think their star player is what.
I think honestly, nobody never said it. They just drafted Will.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair enough. And it's just like you said, they always found some diamonds in the rough. So, like I said, at the end of the day, it's going to be hard to bring some real top tier talent to San Antonio because marketing and business purposes and things like that. I should say at San Antonio because it's always other sides and stuff to the NBA. But at the end of the day, I mean, they're young. That's all. That's what I'm just pretty much looking at. That they're just young. So I mean, they've pretty much just been in rebuild mode for these last couple of years, and they're going to stay like that until like I said, possibly until Pop retires and or whatever. Maybe they can get lucky in the draft or something. But until then, they're just going to be always bottom of the West. So
what you got, John?
This is where the NFL does it better. There's that thing we hate with the Lamar Jackson thing where it's like, hey, I got an MVP. I won you a playoff game. And then the NFL goes, well, what are you doing for me now? Right? And we don't like that where it's like, all right, give a guy 1 year, 2 years, couple years to like let you prove like he's still that guy. This is where the NFL would have cut the head off the snake already. Like, all right, like Thibodeau, come on, man. Or no, not Thibodeau, Popovich. Like, it's just time. It's just time. And the NBA allows this to happen where we saw Dirk play several years past when he should have out of respect for what he had already done for the franchise. But, like, at some point, there has to be a limit somewhere where you have to say, yeah, we are not the team without you. But also, we cannot allow you to ruin this team. And I'm not going to sit here and say Popovich is ruining this team. I'm not saying that in a general. But this team needs some sort of new life. Because you're not going to find three guys who are not, your Vegas, LA, Atlanta types. Like DeJounte Murray was an Atlanta guy. He just wasn't going to stay in San Antonio forever. He's just not going to buy into your thing. Kawhi Leonard, he loves it in LA. He's a quieter guy, and I think he's a guy you can get to buy into your thing. But, he's also a self-made person. Like, he does want to be – he has very, control of his own life, and he just doesn't want someone else to be telling him. These guys, Tim and Manu and Tony, were guys who we didn't see them as soon as they were done their careers go on TNT or try to start a podcast or become movie stars. Or like they just weren't those guys. They were different. They got lucky. I mean, you could say, because sure, we drafted him. Like, okay, well, he hasn't done that since. So, you got lucky. Like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just get lucky. You draft 2-3 guys, a Westbrook, a Harden, a Durant, all back to back to back. Like, you just get lucky, right? And then it's like, well, how come they can't do that again? It's like, they got lucky. Like, and so, I just think they need some sort of new energy that can draw a star there. Because when the biggest star you can get to come is Rudy Gay, and I'm a big Gay fan, but I'm just saying, like, Aldridge on his last leg, like they got, they cannot get stars to come play there. And like, yes, I want the grit and grind players of San Antonio. I love those guys. But you need some sort of skill and talent like that can compete at the top level, and they just don't have it, and there's no attraction for them to get it. And so this isn't about me saying Popovich ruined his team. This is me saying I don't want his legacy to be ruined by what I'm looking at right now. Like, I want them to just, for lack of a better term, mercy killing. Like, just like, hey, man, just retire because you have all the records. Like, he had, like, at one point, I think he had the highest winning percentage. I don't know. I'm sure that's gone by now with the last 3 years. I can't imagine with a 16-game losing streak, he's still, he's got the records, he's got the winning seasons, he's got the, the percentages, all this stuff. That's all going out the window, and his record is not going to reflect that. And you can, what's the Batman saying where he says, you either die the good guy or live long enough to become the bad guy? That's what I don't want to happen. 16 games in a row, that's a record.
Yeah.
That's not the records he, like, when you look at his records, because, again, LeBron, right? When you see scoring title, assists, you also have to say he's also got the turnover record, right? That's something that comes. and I'm not dogging on nobody. I'm just saying, like, you don't. But when you're past your prime, and you're only adding bad records and not adding scoring titles, like, it's time to go. It's time to go, and I don't like this.
And that's the thing, though. I just feel like Popovich really doesn't have anything else to prove right now. Like, you've done it all. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm just saying I'm not sure. I'm sure it's Popovich that's don't want to go. I'm sure they've been probably wanting him to go, but they're not going to just let Popovich go. He's did so much for that for that franchise that they're just not gonna let him leave on his own terms. I should say they're
Give
not
him a head office position or something. Like,
I get it, but they're just not gonna let him go. Popular is gonna go whenever he's ready, and I just feel like his time was like 2 years ago. But but Pop, he's been trying to rock it out for a reason. I mean, it's just sad to see. Like John said, this 16-game losing streak, they have more losses than they have wins, though. They only have 14 wins. Like, that's mad. That's mad terrible. So it's like you said, John, at the end of the day, you don't want to see this guy's legacy go down the drain just because of these last couple of seasons.